Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a get ready with me on the look that I'm wearing today. I wanted to do a really summery eyeshadow look. I did use the Natasha Denona Sunrise palette. I filmed an entire review on this palette, but I did more of a purple berry toned look in that video. So in today's video, a lot of you guys asked for an orangey yellow look. So I hope you enjoy it. I also used a bunch of products that I've just been raving about on my channel for the past few weeks. I hope today's video is helpful. Stay tuned because my next get ready with me will be a lot more of a minimal natural makeup look. I know not everybody's into colorful, bold eyes, and that's totally fine. So I wear a lot of natural looks as well. So that video will be my next get ready with me. It will be up sometime in July. But anyways, let's jump into it and I'll show you guys how I got this look. Okay guys, so I am going to do my foundation routine. I want to do my go-to foundation routine, which is more medium to full coverage, but I will say that I've actually discovered more of a light to medium coverage routine that I love, that stays in place well. It allows my natural skin to show through and still covers redness, and I am so excited about it. So I will film that video for you guys very soon, but in the meantime, I kind of want to share my go-to foundation routine that I typically wear. So I'm going to kick it off with the e.l.f. Oil Control Primer Mist. I've been talking about it in a lot of my recent videos, but it's kind of a rediscovered favorite as we're heading into the summertime. So I prefer to just spray it into my hands and then kind of apply it wherever I struggle with really oily skin, which is mainly my T-zone area. And I feel when you do this, you get more of a targeted application in the way that you want, and you don't use as much product because it's not spritzing into the air onto your hair. So for foundation, I've been mixing together two different foundations. I love how these look on the skin because they are complete opposites. So I just think they balance each other out really perfectly. I've been using the Fenty Beauty Pro Filter. I have the shade 120. 120 is way too light for me on its own, but mixed together with the Flower Beauty Light Illusion in the shade L3, it's perfect. L3 is too dark for me on its own. So not only does the shade end up working out well for me, it always looks a little bit off at first, but my neck and my chest have more of a yellow undertone, and my face does tend to be a little bit red. So I just try to match my face to my neck. But because these formulas are so different, I just find that they are so complementary to each other. The Fenty foundation is very, very matte. It's so matte that I typically don't like to wear it on its own very often these days. So because the Flower Beauty foundation is a lot more of a dewy foundation, it just adds the perfect texture to the Fenty foundation. I will wear the Flower Beauty foundation on its own, but probably not during the summer. I forgot to tell you guys, I'm using the Real Techniques buffing brush. I will list all of my brushes in the description box below because I usually forget to mention them when I'm using them. I know there's this whole movement away from matte products right now, and I totally get it because I just think dewy or glowy products look a lot prettier on the skin. But if you have really oily skin, you know that can be really difficult. So I definitely recommend just try mixing in a little bit of a dewy or glowy foundation into one of your go-to matte foundations, because it really just switches up the texture just a little bit, but it does make a big difference in the way that it looks on the skin and applies. So I think that these two combined look so pretty and so naturally glowy on the skin. I wish so much that I was not somebody who had to set their foundation, but I really do. Otherwise, it will just be creasing and it will completely wear away within 2 hours. I'm going to go in with my Too Faced Born This Way concealer, and I wear the shade Almond. I'm just going to take a little bit under the eyes, between the brows. I've been taking a little bit on the center of my forehead right there. And then I just kind of spot conceal. I don't have too many areas to spot conceal right now, but I am blending it out with I always get so many questions about this brush. It's by Smashbox. It's called their Creme Cheek Brush. So technically I think it's meant for cream cheek products, but it is the best concealer brush in the entire world. I personally don't love blending out foundation or concealer with a sponge. I just find that a sponge, while it does look a little bit more natural, it tends to soak up so much product. Because of that, I just typically go in with a brush because I just get the coverage that I want the first time around. This is my favorite concealer in the entire world. It does add quite a bit of coverage, so I personally don't recommend layering your foundation up over and over. If you just take a small amount of concealer, especially a good one like this, it'll add the coverage that you're looking for, again, without looking super heavy or cakey. This concealer, it just stays in place so well. I love it all year round, whether it is the summertime, the fall, the winter, the spring, it doesn't matter. Before I set that, I'm actually going to take a little bit of the Urban Decay Primer Potion, and I'm currently using this one in Eden. I am still using the CoverGirl lid lock, which I do still enjoy. It's a lot more affordable, but what I actually did not notice at first until I talked about it in a video and I started reading some of your comments is just that it's a pretty sticky eyeshadow base. So I've noticed that sometimes my eyeshadows can be a little bit more difficult to blend out when I'm using that product. Because I am using the Natasha Denona Sunrise palette today, which is great, but some of the matte shadows do take a little bit of extra blending. I just want to use more of a smooth base. I can't find the brush that I want to set everything into place, so I'm just going to use this one from Smashbox. This one is the Blurring Concealer brush, and I am setting my under eye concealer into place with the Urban Decay Velvetizer. This is not technically an under eye setting powder. It is a translucent mix-in medium. And I always say this in every video when I use it. I just randomly started using it as an under eye setting powder one day, and then I'm just going to use it to set my primer, but it literally locks everything into place so well. I don't know why. I don't typically use it on my entire face for some reason. I haven't tried doing that in a while. Back in the day when I did do that, it just gave me a little bit more of a cakey look, but I haven't tried it in a while, so it could be a good all-over setting powder, I'm not sure. It does have a tendency to make your concealer look a little bit darker. For me, it evens out in the end because my foundation and concealer are usually a little bit too light anyways. But if you have like a super light skin tone, that is something to keep in mind. It's not meant to be like an under eye setting powder. It works so well for me. So to set the rest of my face, I'm going to be using the Too Faced Peach Perfect. This is their mattifying loose setting powder, and it's a great option if you have oily skin and you just want to lock everything into place all day long. I kind of wish this came in like a pressed powder format. I don't typically love loose powders as much as I like pressed powders, so I wish that I could get it as a pressed powder. I could probably maybe press it myself, but I don't know if that would take away from the actual formula. Okay, so let's move on to brows and then I will do the eyes. I am using the ColourPop Brow Boss Gel and I have the shade Dark Brown. I kind of do things out of order. I always apply brow gel first. I find that this ColourPop Brow Gel just makes my brows look so much more voluminous and full just using the brow gel. So when I'm in a hurry or I don't want to take the time to like fill in my brows, I'll just take this brow gel and run it through and it makes an instant difference. So let me just comb through this brow. This is my problem brow. I find that I sleep on like the left side of my face, not even like sideways. Like I sleep with like my eye and my brow in the pillow. So because of that, I think that's why this brow is like so sparse and these eyelashes are a mess, and I'll probably end up with like a million more wrinkles on this side of my face. Anyways, I will just let it dry and then I'll come back and fill them in with my Anastasia Brow Wiz. I'm just going to lightly fill in any areas that I feel like need a little extra definition. So I am going to use the Natasha Denona Sunrise palette. Again, I did film an entire review on this palette, including a demo, and I used a lot of the like darker berry tones in the palette. So if you want to check out that video, I'll link it in the description box below, or you can click the eye in the upper right-hand corner and it will pop up for you. But when I filmed that video, I told you guys I was going to do a second look, and I asked you if you wanted to see more of a natural look or more of like a yellow orange toned look. And a lot of you guys said use the yellows and the oranges. I think the majority of you. So that's what we're using today. I don't wear a lot of yellow eyeshadow, so I'm excited to do like a yellow orangey toned look. I think I'm going to start with this shade as a transition color, and then I'll use this one in the crease, maybe this one in the crease and the outer corner as well, and then we'll go in with one of these shades all over the lid. So I'm excited. That is the plan at least. I do have some new eye brushes to use. I'm excited to test these out. I just got these in the mail. Makeup Molly is a YouTuber. She is just so much fun to watch. I just discovered her channel fairly recently, I think in 2019. She's just very beautiful and sweet, and I've really been enjoying her channel. She also has an Instagram account, so I'm going to link her in the description box below, but she collaborated with Doll 10 to create her own brush line. So here's some information. It is an 8-piece brush collection launching on June 27th. You get all of these brushes for $39. So I thought in today's video I would use them, see how they perform. It is a cruelty-free company and these brushes are vegan. But congratulations to Molly. I'm really excited for her. I just really enjoy her and her videos. So the first brush I'm going to use is the Crease Creator, and I'm going to go in with the shade Morning. I'm just going to blend it as a transition color into the crease, above the crease, on the lid. I just want all of the other shadows to blend into this one really well. I find that the majority of the shadows in the palette perform very well. The metallic shadows are probably my favorite just because they're so rich and saturated. And then some of the matte shadows are really nice as well. I typically find that the lighter matte shades perform better than the dark matte shades. But overall, I do like this palette. For $65, I'm happy with it. This brush worked really great too. So I think I'm going to take this really pretty goldenrod shade and use that in the crease just to define things a little bit more, intensify the look. Like I said, I don't typically wear yellows, but I did wear yellow the other day. There's a really pretty yellow tone in the Anastasia Riviera palette. That one's a little bit more subdued, so I feel like it was a good way to kind of transition into using yellow shadows, but I think yellows are so pretty. I just don't know that they look the best on my skin tone. Okay, so I'm going to take the Buff Blender brush and I'm going to use the shade Jasper and just work that into the outer corner and then up into the crease as well. I'm really excited because I'm trying something new tomorrow. I'm going to get eyelash extensions. It is something that I've been wanting to do for such a long time at this point. I haven't done it for a few different reasons. First of all, I love wearing eyeshadow. I love wearing eyeliner. I love doing like all different kinds of eye looks, trying new mascaras. So I just felt like they didn't really fit my particular lifestyle because I do love wearing eye makeup all the time. I also feel like as somebody who films YouTube videos, I'm always testing out new eye products. So I just didn't really want to deal with eyelash extensions because I've heard that they are pretty high maintenance. But at the same time, I've just been wanting to try them out. I'm just going back in with that brush I used for like the yellow shades just to blend everything. I'm just going to go back in with a little bit more of Jasper and just kind of layer that a little bit more intensely rather than blending it out so much. I just kind of wanted to try something new for the summertime. I used to wear false lashes like every single day. It's been a while since I've done that, but probably like, I want to say 2 years ago, I always wore false lashes. I was never without them, but I did find that over time, because I was wearing them so much, they did kind of damage my natural lashes. So I stopped wearing them all the time, and honestly, it was just so nice because I didn't have to apply them. It saved me so much time. My eyes didn't feel heavy or irritated. But anyways, I'm going to be out of town for a few weeks coming up, and I won't be filming YouTube videos. I won't really be taking the time to do eyeshadow or a lot of makeup, so I thought this would be the perfect time to try them out. And if I like them, then I'll probably end up getting a fill and then maybe just keeping them for the majority of the summertime. We have quite a few trips planned in July and August. I just feel like it's kind of a crazy time. So it might be kind of nice just to have them look a little bit more put together without having to take the time to apply eye makeup. I'm just excited for a change, and I'm mostly excited to experience them just so I can share my experience on YouTube. I don't have an issue applying mascara. I love mascara. I love trying new products, but I do think it will be really fun just to wake up with like nice lashes. All right, I am going to take the gold shade. This one is Day Spring, and I'm just going to place that all over the lid. This is one of my favorite shades in the entire palette. It just looks like the most beautiful liquid coppery gold. It's so stunning on the eyes. Like even if I just blend a bronzer into the crease and then I take this color and just kind of lightly layer it all over the lid, I love how it looks. Anyways, do you guys have any experience with eyelash extensions? I would love to hear your thoughts. I know that they definitely have pros and cons. Some people love them, some people hate them. If you have any like specific care tips or ways that you make them last a little bit longer, I would love to hear from you guys. I'm actually going to take this shade Azalea and I'm going to place that all over the lid. This is more of like a pinky gold, but since we're going full on orange, let's just go for it. I can't decide which one I like better, if I like Azalea or Day Spring. I feel like I kind of like Azalea with the orange. Day Spring is like the safe choice in the palette. So Azalea is one of the duochromes. The duochromes are a little bit more powdery, so I usually do end up with them on my face. Actually, that one wasn't too bad. Okay, I'm going to take the Detail Dazzler brush, and what shade do I want to use? Let's take a little bit of Jasper and blend that on the lower lash line. Then I'm just going to go back in with the shade Carnelian, just a little bit of it right underneath. Just keep blending. The Natasha Denona doesn't really have a shade that I would use as like a brow bone highlight, so I'm just going to take this one from the ColourPop Double Entendre palette. It's just like a light matte shade. It has a slight yellow undertone, so I do feel like it goes well with this look. And I'm just going to brush it under the brow bone or onto the brow bone. This is like the one part of my eye that never wants to blend, this specific spot right here. No matter what brush I use, no matter what eyeshadow I use, for some reason I just can never get like a perfectly seamless blend. I remember talking about it in a video once, and like a ton of you guys said you just have like that one spot on your eye that doesn't want to blend either. Okay, so I think I used all of the brushes with the exception of this one. This one is the line definer, but all of these performed very, very well. What I like about this set is there are a lot of brushes that are shaped similarly. Like these three in particular, they're all kind of like a defining crease brush, but they're different sizes. And when I'm doing an eye look, I typically want to use like a similar brush, but I don't have multiple brushes in like slightly different sizes. So this is perfect if you like to do a lot of crease work, and the actual bristles are very, very soft. So if you guys are looking for a good cruelty-free brush collection, I would check this one out. I will link it in the description box below, but $39 for 8 brushes is a good deal. It comes out to be like $5 a brush. I think Molly has a discount code. If she does, I'll list that in the description box below as well. But again, congratulations, Molly. I am so excited for you. All right, let me go in with mascara. So I've been using the Too Faced Damn Girl mascara a lot lately. This one is a really dramatic, voluminous mascara. It does have a tendency to be a little bit messy, especially if you are anything like me and you make a mess when you apply your mascara in the first place. This is a little bit more of a difficult mascara because the brush is so large. So I tend to hit my lid, hit my crease with it, but it is a really dramatic mascara, and sometimes you just want a super dramatic mascara. So if that's the case, this one is really nice. It also builds extremely well. You can just go in and keep layering it up to get such an intense look. So if you guys like more of a dramatic mascara, I do recommend this one. It has some cons, like the brush is super big. It does tend to be a little bit clumpy, but I still find myself reaching for this like almost every single time I need a mascara for a dramatic look. Okay, so while I wait for the mascara to dry, I am going to go in with my Urban Decay Brow Blade. I use the shade Dark Drapes. So this is a dual-ended pencil. One side is like an actual brow pencil, and the other side, which is the only side that I use, is kind of like a liquid liner, but it's meant for your brows. So it's a little bit more subtle, and this makes such a difference, such a subtle difference. I feel like I could leave my brows how they are, but usually I'll just take this if I have like an extra 10 seconds. It's going to take a little bit longer because I'm talking to you guys, but I'll just like lightly comb through my brows, and I feel like it gives them a little bit more, I was going to say a little bit more of a natural look, but natural is not the right word. It defines them, but it actually looks like hair in my opinion. All right, not my best brow day over here on the left, but we're just going to leave it because you know how it turns into like this vicious cycle, and you go to fix it and then it looks worse, and then you go to fix it again and it looks even worse. So I'm just going to quit while I'm behind. So for bronzer, I'm going to be using the e.l.f. Primer Infused Bronzer. I have the shade Forever Sun-Kissed. This has been one of my go-to bronzers. It's just so smooth and blendable. I just really like this bronzer. I think it's like $6. It blends so well on the skin. This is a nice shade for me because it's subtle, but I can build it up if I want a little bit more of an intense look. So I'm just going to bronze up the skin. I believe they have 3 or 4 shades, and this one is the lightest shade. So if you guys have a darker skin tone, there are other options on the website. I'm actually just going to take the same brush and use my Milani Baked Blush in the shade Luminoso. Again, this is kind of like a rediscovered favorite. That's what I meant to say. I used to love this blush, and then I just kind of pulled it back out for the summertime, and I've just been enjoying it. It's very soft, very subtle on the cheeks. It is a baked formula, so I feel like it has a matte finish, but it also has like more of a natural sheen. And it's nice because you can build it up to look pretty intense or just go in with a light layer, but I love using it when I'm doing any sort of like warm, summery look because I feel like it complements any of those looks nicely. So I just have a few more steps. I'm going to take this Becca highlighter. I have the shade Champagne Pop, which again, I just kind of pulled it back out for the summertime. It's a really pretty, just flattering gold. And I'm just going to highlight the cheeks the tip of the nose, just very lightly. My Cupid's bow, my chin, but mainly focusing this kind of on the cheek area. And I'm also just going to take a little bit on the inner corner of my eyes just to add a subtle highlight. I usually just take my highlighter and put it here rather than taking like a separate inner corner highlight. Two more things. I'm just going to take this ColourPop eyeliner. It is like a really pretty rose gold. The name is completely rubbed off, so I will link it in the description box below. I'm just going to use that on my waterline. This is one of my favorite liners, but I don't typically do super intensely warm looks like this a whole lot these days, so I haven't been able to use it, and I love it. So for the lips, I'm just going to keep it simple. I'm going to use my ColourPop Lippy Pencil in the shade BFF, and I'm just going to line them. Today I am using the Milani Keep It Full Nourishing Lip Plumper. I have the shade Natural Luster. I think the formula is like identical to the Fenty Gloss Bomb, but this is a lot less expensive. I just think it is smooth and glossy, and it just looks really pretty on the lips, but you can find it at the drugstore. It does give you like a slight tingling, plumping feeling, but nothing too crazy. Okay guys, that is the end of my video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I really wanted to sit down and show you some of the products that I've been using in action, show you how they work, how they apply. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. My next like get ready with me tutorial type of video is definitely going to be like a really natural 10-minute makeup look. So stay tuned for that. It will be up later this month, but I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you very soon with a new video. Bye.